So I want to talk to you about what I wrote yesterday in Hatata. You made a comment and said, empty of notions, truth is apparent. And so, and actually nothing else, there is nothing to speak actually anymore. It is just, isness is here, you know, just to read it, everything is empty and still and everything. Yet I have to speak with you about this, that what is going on here, or how it is experienced here. There are two states of consciousness, so to say. So one is this just this isness, what I just said, and in this isness also there are levels, maybe you can say, of deepness, or sometimes it's more superficial, and sometimes it's more deep in isness itself. This is the way, like I'm experiencing it. And then there's on the other side this, what I would say, just this witnessing, which is, for the quality of it is totally different from isness, in my experience. and when just witnessing is, you're not of this, the experience is you're just not of this world anymore. It is just, you are just not anymore at all. You know, the quality of these two are very different. So, and there is this, something takes it and makes two things out of it. My heart says it is actually one. It is not two. Only the experience is different. So maybe you can say, I just had to speak it out, because this really, there's a trouble in this. And not really a trouble, but a trouble. You know? So I would be nice if you can say something to it.
In fact, we've been looking at this quite closely, and we say that all there is the self. And what is the self? I is the self. Not the I that we have always believed ourselves to be, but the I that has always been true. Now, as far as qualitative differences are concerned, they don't actually divide the self. Just like the appearance of waves does not divide the ocean. Just because the finger is pointing up does not divide the hand. It can be like this or like this. So there is only one self. Now, the appearance of the dynamic aspect of the self, it's like a moving part starts to move about. And just to describe this movement, then we create a word like consciousness or beingness. So it is just a concept which is the sum total of all that is moving, all that is dynamic. So whether we call it being, whether we call it consciousness, it actually has created no division. It is, that's what I've been saying, that even with the appearance of I am, it is I am. It is not the appearance of you are. You see what I'm saying? It continues to be I, which is am. The am can be like the wave on the ocean. The ocean is the same. You see, the am can be like the finger rising, but it's still the same hand. You see? So in the arising of the dynamic aspect, which is consciousness, nothing really happened to the self. You see? Now, the self has always remained one self. But when we need to explain, this in reality you remain untouched, but all of these are just movements on the screen of consciousness. You see, that's why we come up with the terminology of saying awareness remains untouched, and consciousness is the one that is moving. Actually, the self has never been divided. It is just, a good example is a cloud is there. You see a face in it. Is there really a face? Now some will say, yes, I see it. Some will say, no, it is of course just a cloud. Both are true because it is experienced qualitatively that there is like a face showing up in the cloud. But actually it is all just the cloud itself. So just because the appearance of this movement is happening, in our inner inside, we see that nothing has changed for the self. So that's what I was saying yesterday, that when you asked whether the ending of belief in thought is just the end of suffering, but is it also evident self-recognition of who I am? And I said that when we are empty of all notions, the truth is completely self-evident. It is evident for us completely, without even the conceptual breakup of dynamic aspect or non-dynamic aspect, of phenomenal aspect and non-phenomenal aspect. All of these are just theoretical constructs that we use to point to that which is beyond all of these. You see? Why do we need these theoretical constructs? Because otherwise, okay, say. Oh yeah, oh, okay, you can't unmute yourself. I like this power, it's very nice.
Okay. Okay. I'm totally with you, and totally, I totally see the same like you. But the thing is here that I really have the different kind of experience of the self, let's say. Is that possible? And who is this? How is this possible that and the mind just makes its conclusions about these different qualities of experience, and this totally, I know, the pure experience by itself, the experience by itself is just true. It is really true. I know that it is true. There's no doubt about the experience itself. But what is the problem? Seems to be the problem actually is this, that the quality of these experiences are so different. So, and then it must be the mind, it must be the mind who divided it's here. But the seeing is not in that sense complete here. You know what I mean? Or something like that. It is just the mix of, and this just makes me crazy, so to say.
If you are empty of that notion that it's either complete or incomplete, what is it?
just repeat it. It was too fast for me. It was too fast.
If we don't have the notion of completion, then what is it?
I have no idea what the notion of completion is, actually. I cannot relate to that at the moment. You know what I mean? It just says nothing to me.
Because you said that there is something here which is incomplete. The seeing is incomplete. So suppose we didn't know this.
Yeah, I don't know if that is so. I don't know if it is really like that. I just had to say something. Somehow. I don't know how to say that.
Let's do one experiment together. As we remain empty of notions. As we remain empty of notions. And then later we'll report about it whether it was complete or incomplete.
There's no completion or incompletion.
There is no completion or incompletion. Is there any separation?
No.
Is there any duality?
No. It's impossible.
Is it? Even this is it, we cannot say, because that is
No.
also a notion. Is it?
And still there's this,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, how is it for you? I mean, how, you must also, I think everyone must have these different qualities, must experience this.
Yes, that's about the quality of experience. Now, the
Yeah.
quality of experience, if it is a qualitative experience, then it is a function of attention. You see?
Yes, totally. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, if it is a qualitative experience, then it has no bearing on the recognition of the self.
I don't know if I got that one.
Expand on that a little bit. And this is a very important point. This is where many people get stuck. You see? So it can feel like that as the recognition of the self is happening, the quality of experience has to change in some way. But the quality of experience is dependent on something which is changing, which is attention. You see? And attention is a byproduct of my existence. You see? So this quality, if we had no notion about what the quality should be or what should be perceived or not perceived, without this, empty of any of these ideas, we see that the simple, if we have to communicate, then the simplest notion to use is that I exist and I am aware of it. This awareness is untouched even by the sense of existence or not existence.
So Father, can you say something more? So when, um, so you said I got that point. At least this, when attention goes to, do you mean that these different qualities of experiencing the self is in the self itself and is
Yes. So the way to look at this, the simple way to look at this is go back to that cloud metaphor. So is the face in the cloud?
I don't know.
You see a cloud and you can get any shape in that cloud. So you can feel like, oh, that's a face. You see, there's a face forming in that cloud. So someone can come and ask you, so is there a face in the cloud? That quality that we are calling the face for now.
Yes.
Yes. But is it, so some might say yes, of course, because it's qualitatively experienced as the face. Another will say there is no face, it is only cloud which is being perceived as face.
I know I have a knot in my brain, I think.
No, we can take it very slowly. Suppose you were out on the balcony and you see this cloud.
Yes, okay, look.
And you see a beautiful face, you see Guruji's face. You see like, you see, this is a sign from God, Guruji is looking at me. So someone comes and says, is there really a face in the cloud?
Yes, I see Guruji in the cloud.
Yes. So the qualitative experience is that you see it.
Yes.
But in actuality, there is no separate substance called face. It is just the cloud itself. You see, it is not that there is a cloud, there was a cloud, and now a new substance has come, which is forming the face. It is just the shape of the cloud in a certain way, which is appearing like a face.
So to come back to the experience here, the experiencing of witnessing and the experiencing of this, I am not of this world, and I'm just not of this world.
Yes, that which is not of this world remains untouched by anything that might be happening in the qualitative experience. The self remains untouched. You see? Now, empty of notion, is this very apparent, or it has to be looked for?
There is no notion.
Yes. So as we are empty of notion, then does the fact that my qualityless self is independent of whatever might be with qualities, does that have to be looked into, or it is completely apparent?
And completely apparent.
Yes, you see? So it is completely apparent. The recognition of the self is completely apparent when we are empty of all notions. You see? And then you see that that's why first I asked you, is there any separation in that empty of notion? Is there any separation between that with quality and no quality? No. You see? That's why you start to look at it as if it is one cloud. But qualitatively, the face could be seen once I start to look at it in that way, using my attention. Just like it continues to be the hand, but I might say, is this a hand or a finger?
So there's a difference in the way you can say how the tension is moving. The tension moving is the cause, so to say, for my experience. It seems that when the tension is more inside, the witnessing is more in the frog. I'm more this witnessing. When the attention is more in here, it's just the witnessing is not so apparent anymore. But the isness is here, you know. Or is it nonsense what I'm saying?
So let me take a couple of minutes on this. For me, actually, and this could be even different from how Guruji is using the term, but hear him say isness, for me that signifies the self. See? For me, it signifies the self, which includes both the dynamic aspect and the non-dynamic aspect. See?
Okay.
So that which is the self. Now this self has the qualitative aspect which we call beingness or consciousness, and it has the non-phenomenal, non-qualitative aspect which we call awareness. You see? So this is what it translates to from my inside when I hear Guruji speak of the isness. Now this might be different for all of you. Some of you might feel it is beingness, some of you might feel it is the self, but that is irrespective. That is the thing with concept, you see. So if you look at this, that which is as the self, and then you see that there is that which is brought to the attention of the self through the movement of attention itself. Only that which attention falls on is perceived, isn't it?
Yes, right. Right,
So,
totally, yes.
so when we are talking about a qualitative experience, we are talking about that quality of which attention is falling on. Now, when we look at the non-phenomenal aspect of the self, we find that even to say attention is not valid there, because it is like the spring has come back completely home. So that which was a seeming moving force is now not separate from this non-phenomenality. Therefore, we can't even say that there is something like attention. So the recognition of the non-phenomenal self, the unchanging, the absolute, is independent of the movement of attention. What is your opinion on that?
Totally with you. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah.
One more minute. So this is independent of attention. Then, what is the most primal object of our attention? The most primal object of our attention is the sense of existence, of being. this is where we can say it is like a primal quality. Existence has come into play. You see? So the feeling of the face arising in the cloud has remained the cloud only. But this sense of amness, beingness, existence has come. You see? So when Maharaj can say, I just kept my attention on the sense of being and the truth became apparent. Therefore, this is the most primary, the most primal object on which attention can go. Now, our experience is that as beingness is there, then the world of quality also arises with that. So then all these concepts of qualitative distinction start to arise. With this primary quality of being, then all of this hot and cold, pleasure and pain, all these qualitative distinctions, they start to arise. So this world is then the play of qualities. But where did it come from? Did anything happen to that self? It is there without the play of attention. Did anything change about that? Now, what happens is that when we are full of notions, then it can feel like, yes, of course, that completely changed. I have become this limited entity. But as we are simply empty of notions, which is the natural gift of this moment to all of us, we see that nothing has changed, no matter which qualities might seem to be appearing.
Totally the same here, yeah? Totally the same what you're saying, totally with you. Only this one thing, this, you know, in the witnessing, the attention is not there anymore. But there is, Guruji always says this, has this quote of someone like, you know, with this door which is going outside and inside, and between that my life is moving. And I would say it is like this, you know, and and also attention makes no sense in the absolute anymore. It's just, but in a way, on the way to that, the attention is moving inside and then it is gone. You know what I mean? And this is what this in the experience of it, to experience is somehow here, the mind makes something out of it in a way I cannot say, you know, it's so subtle that way. Just had to speak it out and lay it here. So.
I can say simply that the one that can be concerned about the quality of the experience has no control over the movement of attention. You see? So attention works in coordination, you see, with consciousness. And all of these, again, are just theoretical distinctions that we are making. You see? So just conceptual distinctions we are making where actually no distinction has happened. But since we are talking about something which is apparent, so we can say that attention is moving in coordination with consciousness, and consciousness is moving it to whatever it wants to experience for itself. Now, the one who wants a particular experience or is wondering whether freedom is this experience or that experience, that one has no play in the movement of attention. You see? So then you will start to see that whether the quality of the experience is full of pain, full of anger, full of all of these things arising, or the quality of the experience is peace, bliss, no pain, pleasure. As you remain notionless, you will see that it makes no difference to the self. It makes no difference to you. So there must not be a benchmark made about the quality of the experience, because that is not a valid benchmark. So you said, how is it for you? for me it is the same as it is for you. You see, the only thing which is missing is the lack of belief in the idea of me, the idea of what's in it for me, am I getting it? You see, all these I'm not concerned about. You see? But the quality of the experience is the same. And there is no concern about the quality of the experience.
So there must be, oh, I forgot now.
So one thing I can say about the quality of the experience is that as belief is withdrawn from these notions, even attention gets withdrawn from them automatically. You don't have to work hard for it. And as attention is withdrawn from the mental sphere, then you find that if there is a qualitative change that has happened, is that the feeling, the seeming of vibrancy in the phenomenal tasting of things, that seems to have gone up. Because you know this, that as attention is split up into two things. You see, if I say, think of a green colored tree, imagine a green colored tree and bring your attention there, and also keep your attention on my words. You see, and one of them will start to become blurry because attention's functions in a limited way. You see? So as attention has got automatically withdrawn from the mental notions, you find that more attention is available for the tasting of these phenomenal appearance, and therefore this phenomenal appearance seems much more vivid and full of light compared to how it used to. So qualitatively, I can say this difference has happened, but that has only happened because attention does not spend too much time on this mental sphere, on this mental notions.
You know, I don't have the feeling right now that something got here answered. I have, but I feel so this experience, what I have, not right now, but in the witnessing, and really, and when you're just totally gone, and when it is so obvious that this world is, you are just not. Oh, I have no words for this experience. I know it is so, I would say it is so beyond everything. And but my feeling is somehow that something took this experience now to, and made, you know, made two out of it. I can, you know, I feel it, and I know this is not true, but I cannot do anything about it. You know, there is a me and somehow here which is just not claiming. I would not say claiming, but something is going on here.
Well, the good news is that the two can never be made. You know this. That in reality, two never got made. Isn't it? It is just that the concept of separation got believed. But the good news is that whatever got believed is gone. Now, if you forget about all of this, which naturally we have forgotten, we have to work towards bringing it back. See? As we can see, as you're struggling to ask the question, you can see that they struggle to bring it back. So what was the music? So if we leave that and we let all notions just come and go, did you see any qualitative? Does the word qualitative distinction even matter? Does it signify something?
No.
And yet, in the experience, nothing was lost. Really? Although the distinction was no longer there because we are empty of notion, yet in the experience, nothing was lost. The powers of perception normally functioning, and that which witnesses even perception, nothing ever lost that anyway.
There's some super ego playing here, you know, and I. I just feel so much concepts are coming up now, you know, and now I can feel how something wants to hold on to this something, whatever, and when you are talking just before, you know, it gets really uncomfortable. It gets really uncomfortable, and really like the body is getting teared apart here, you know, and so I know at least that I'm not right in this sense. At least this I know. and so I just feel to what my heart says. It's just forget about it, really. So, but I know, you know, I cannot really let it go just like this. It is really something which, but it's
Okay, don't, because what you said first, then what you said second contradicted what you said first. So better to just forget about it. And then you said, I know I can't just let it go. So don't know this, because knowing this is not bringing anything useful to you. Suppose you didn't know.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
This is how.
Exactly.
Yeah, so don't know this.
Exactly. Yeah, that's great.
Whether you can let go or can't let go, don't know any of this. Because when we say no, we don't really know. It is just a mental position that we are taking. We don't know what is going to happen at all. You might say, I know I can't let go of this. And then you might have actually let go of it forever. And if I ask you, what can't you let go of? You might never remember that. You see, it is completely possible for it to happen like that. So better not to know or not know.
That's exactly that was it. That was it. Yes. Yes. Oh, thank you.
Because you very good, very good. So even if you make the most humble conclusion about ourselves, know that we are not speaking the truth about the self. It is a conclusion about the imagined one.
You know, I feel it when it is like this, but actually I need this conversation, you know. I'm just too tricky on my own. You know, I was so much looking at this and it just was impossible. Yeah.